Hi folks, and today I'm spending time with the ladies from Ferguson, Deb Langton and Kathryn Telford. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you girls. You're so down to earth and you're so forward thinking when it comes to conveyancing, and that's why I love referring our clients to you. You can find these ladies in Wollongong, Goulburn, Nowra, Kiama and Gerringong. So today we're going to talk about how to ensure you don't miss out on your dream property. So the market's very hot right now, and it's I guess not uncommon to see over 20 groups going through homes, and with the home that's priced right, homes are selling very quickly. So would you please tell us, in your mind, what are some of the tips and hints you can give our clients to make sure they don't miss out?
So being ready to go to your open house if you're going to be looking for a property is really important. So the first thing you really need to think about is what can you afford, and making sure you've spoken to your bank or your financial institution about what access to funds you're going to have. So in that whole discussion, if you have other loans, business loans, etc., secured by your properties, you really need to talk to your bank about how that's all going to work if you are going to be purchasing a new property. But getting your pre-approval and knowing what your budget is really important, because without having some idea of what you can afford, it makes it very difficult to move to exchange on a property. So getting that pre-approval and having those discussions with your financial institution as a preliminary and a preparation for looking at properties is really important. So if you do see something you like, you want to be in a position to go now, not have to go back and backtrack through some of these things. And knowing you can afford the property is really important, because once we exchange, especially if we don't exchange with the cooling off, you're bound to buy the property, and if you can't come up with the money, then you'll be seen to have been in default and can lose your deposit and be sued for other damages. So making sure you've got your finance is one of the first precursors to looking for a property. You got anything else?
Also, you'll need your deposit when you exchange contracts, so discussing whether the vendor will accept a 5% deposit or whether you'll need the full 10% or even a deposit bond is very important, because even if you have your pre-approval, you're going to have to exchange with a deposit of some sort. So that could delay the process, so finding your deposit is essential up front.
It is, and a lot of people think that if they're buying and selling, that if they have had a deposit paid on their property when they're selling, that somehow that deposit is going to be available to them. And so we often have clients who believe that this money that's been paid can then be unused by them to purchase another property. That's actually not the way that the law works. The deposit that's paid on a property that you're selling will remain in the trust account of a solicitor or an agent until at the time that it has settled. So if you're expecting to need to use that deposit to purchase, you will need to have a negotiation with the purchaser of your property to ask them to release the deposit. So it is a part of the negotiation, and it does involve a special condition or an agreement from the other side. It's not an automatic right that you have to that money. And so if they're not going to agree to release it, you'll have to either use the equity that you have in the house to support a deposit bond if you're not going to be able to come up with another cash deposit. So thinking about how you're going to come up with the deposit is also really important, and may even need to be thought about if you're selling to buy, which often people are.
Absolutely. So guys, when you actually make your offer on a property, make sure your finance is pre-approved. Then if your offer is accepted, we'll actually probably get you to sign a contract. The purchaser and the vendor will sign a contract with a 0.25% non-refundable deposit, and you'll have a 5-day cooling off period, in which time they'll have to do certain things.
Yes, you can exchange, if you're a purchaser, you can exchange with a vendor with a cooling off period. However, most vendors require this to be waived. If you're in a market where your vendor will allow you to exchange without the certificate waiving the cooling off period, then you have 5 days to do your due diligence, and that will include building and pest inspection report and finalising any finances that you have for the property.
Yeah, and potentially getting the contract reviewed if you haven't already got it reviewed. So another precursor to making an offer is to call the agent during the week if you're looking at going to an open house on the weekend, and if that's what time it's open, get them to send you the marketing contract. Get in contact with your solicitor or conveyancer and ask them if they can have a look at that contract for you, so that you know if you do go on the weekend and this is the right property for you, that you are in a position to exchange, that somebody has had a look at the contract, has a chance to negotiate some of the terms, looked at things that you may not be happy with, made inquiries with counsel, so you're ready to go. Because if you do need to exchange without a cooling off, you will be bound at that point in time. So Getting the marketing contract to somebody as soon as you possibly can is also really important. So going, I guess, back to how you can exchange with or without a cooling off period, the law allows you to have 5 days cooling off period, in which case you can do your due diligence and you only lose 0.25% of a deposit. This allows you to get the property off the market so that other people can't come in and make higher offers and take that from you. I think we've got interruption here.
Yeah, that's okay. We're really quite real and live here. I think that actually probably wraps that up. But what I want to say too is make your agent your best friend. Find out why they're selling. Find out how you might be able to offer the vendor something that actually excites them to accept your offer. And I'm not saying it's a bribe or anything. All I'm saying is know as much as you can about the property and the vendor to allow you to put yourself in the best position to be able to secure the property. So, folks, thanks for spending time with us and listening to what the ladies have to say today. Always love spending time with you and I appreciate you coming in today.
That's all right. Thank you.
Thank you.